Hello everyone, and welcome to this showcase and review of a new mod for Hearts of Iron 4 called Hearts of Iron 4 Empire. A new mod that sets the game during the 18th century and during the War of the Spanish Succession. This mod is still in the early stages of its development. It's an alpha stage, so it's not 100% complete, but nevertheless, let's see what we got. So I'm going to go with single player, new game. So here are the nations that I can choose from that have focus trees and a lot of content. France, led by King Louis XIV. Spain, led by King Carlos II. England, led by William of Orange. Austria, led by Leopold VI. Sweden, led by Charles XII. Russia, led by Peter I. The United Provinces of the Netherlands, led by William III of Orange. Savoy, led by Vittorio Amadeo II, and Prussia, led by Frederick I von Hohenzollern. So let's take a look at all the countries we got. So this is Europe in on the 1st of January, 1699. So this is at the twilight of the 17th century. The 18th century would not begin until the 1st of January, 1701. So this is basically the cusp of the 18th century and the end of the 17th century. So let's take a look. So here's England. Let's look at Portugal. There's King John V of Portugal. Let's look at Switzerland. They're led by the Federal Council. Let's look at the Ottoman Empire. They're led by Mustafa II. The Commonwealth, or the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, they're led by Frederick Augustus, who is also the King of Saxony, also known as Frederick Augustus the Strong. Here's Denmark, led by King Frederick IV. Here's Courland, in modern-day Latvia, led by Frederick William. Let's look at Hanover. That's led by George I, who would later become King of England in 1714. This is Mecklenburg, led by the Grand Doge. I'm not sure who this is. Bavaria is led by Maximilian II Emanuel. And the German minor states are just represented by this. So instead of having all the little states here, it's just this one entity here represents all the German minor states. And they're led by the Imperial Diet, which is the Diet of the Holy Roman Empire, which is led by Austria. So let's look at Venice. They're led by Doge Elvise II Mocenigo. Let's look at Montenegro. They're led by Novica Radovic. And there's Genoa, which leads... Okay, Genoa is led by Girolamo de' Mari. Tuscany is led by Cosimo III de' Medici. Parma is led by Francesco Farnese. Okay, Lombardy has no commander, but it's a part of Spain. Spanish Naples is led by Luis Francisco de la Cerda. Sardinia is also ruled by Spain, but directly. Okay, and Spain also rules the Low Countries, what's now Belgium and Luxembourg. Okay, so we already took a look at the Ottomans. Okay, let's look at Scotland. Okay, Scotland has no commander, but they should be led by William of Orange. Okay, so let's look at the Americas. Okay, so all this land here is just unorganized tribes. But let's look at the colonies. We have British America, led by William Penn. The Iroquois tribe, led by Sa-ga-yeth Qua-Pith-Tau. Acadia is led by Clement the 11th. That might be a mistake. Should be ruled by a French governor. Louisiana is also ruled by Clement the 11th, but it really should be like a French governor. But let's look at New Spain. That's led by Jose Sarmiento y Valladares. Let's look. Did we look at the Papal States? Okay, I forgot. The Papal States are led by Pope Clement the 11th. And let's look at the Romanian states. Wallachia and... Okay, Wallachia has no commander, but Moldavia is led by Antio Cantemir. We'll look at Asia in a little bit. Let's just continue looking at the Americas. So, okay, Tortuga has no commander, but it's led by pirates, I'm assuming. New Providence, the same thing. The Spanish Main is led by... Well, it shouldn't be led by Mariano Ospina Perez, because he wouldn't be born until 1891. And he would, you know, in the future become president of Colombia, but this is just, you know, a mistake. Spanish Peru is led by Melchor Portocarrero. La Plata is led, well, it shouldn't be led by Agustin Pedro Justo, because he wouldn't be born until 1876, and he, of course, would be president of Argentina. Brazil is, again, should not be led by Getulio Vargas, since, or Getulio Vargas, since, you know, he wouldn't be born until 1882, and again, he would be president of Brazil, but instead this should be a Portuguese governor. La Plata should have a Spanish governor, same with the Spanish Main, which should be called New Granada. Let's look at Suriname. Okay, they're ruled directly by the United Provinces. Same with French Guiana. Everything else is just unorganized tribes. Okay, so... let's look at Africa and the Middle East. Yemen and Oman, they still... Okay, this is the same leader from Imam Yaha, same leader from the 20th century, but Oman has Saif bin Sultan. The Safavid dynasty should not have Reza Shah Pahlavi. It should have whoever was emperor of Persia at this time. I don't remember. Then there's the Caucasian minor states. They have no leader. There's the Kazakh state of Zaporizhia, led by Ivan Mazepa. So we have the Kazakh Khanate, which isn't led by anyone. We have Bukhara and Khiva and the Dzungars in Central Asia. We have the Mughal Empire, led by Muhammad Shah. Muhammad Shah is the leader of the Mughal Empire. So the Qing Empire is led by Kangxi Emperor. Okay, the Joseon Kingdom should not be led by Syngman Rhee. Once again, he would not be born until 1875, which is way after this game. Same with the other leaders in South America. But the Tokugawa Shogunate, okay, they have no leader. What about the Philippines? They're led by Juan Ortega y Montallanes. Indonesia and Australia, they're just unorganized tribes, but parts of Indonesia are ruled by Portugal, and the Dutch East Indies are led by Willem van Oudthoorn. Okay. Okay, the Central Asian, or the Southeast Asian kingdoms are led by modern-day leaders, which again is a mistake. Same with Nepal and Bhutan and Tibet, but, you know, this mod is still in the early stages of its development, so... And here's Africa, there's Dutch and Portuguese colonies. Here's Ethiopia, again, Haile Selassie wouldn't be born until 1892, so shouldn't be leader here. But the leaders of the Barbary states seem to be correct. We have Moulay Abdallah in Morocco, Omar Pasha in Algeria, Ahmed ibn Murad Bey in Tunis, and Dastari Mehmed Pasha in Tripoli. The flag should be changed, though. But this mod looks pretty promising so far, in spite of some minor things that need to be tweaked, and some pretty glaring historical inaccuracies with the leaders, but other than that, it's looking pretty good so far. So, I think I'll pick France, led by King Louis XIV, the Sun King. Okay.
Pareil.
So, the unit models should not be
Écoutez.
tanks and infantry from World War II. They should be units that actually look like, you know, 17th and 18th century units. But other than that, not bad. The flag of France is correct. So what forms of government are there? There's absolutism, there's Jacobinism, Girondists. Okay, so there's absolutism, Jacobins, Girondist, clergy estate, and nobility estate. And apparently Venice is absolutist, but... Oh, what's Genoa? Okay, they're led by burghers. I don't know why Venice isn't led by burghers, considering they're a merchant republic, but I guess that is kind of... Well, it's kind of oligarchic, but I don't know. Or it's technically plutocratic, but whatever. Okay. Let me just look at the... Okay. The tech tree could use some work to make it more like... You know, like the 17th and 18th century, but whatever. Let me just look at the focus tree. Right. Okay. Storm over Europe. Dark clouds surround Europe, as it seems Europe might soon find itself in a state of war over secession. We must either prepare for war or play our diplomatic cards wisely to avoid conflict. Game-based war support plus 5.00%. Okay, so... I have one national spirit, religious unrest, stability minus 10.00%, same with war support. So let's look at the factions. There's the Bourbon Alliance led by France, there's the Bourbon Alliance led by France, the Grand Alliance led by England, the Swedish Sphere led by Sweden, and the Ottoman Sphere led, the Ottoman Empire led by the Ottoman Empire, obviously. I don't know why there isn't a Holy Roman Empire faction, but they did used to fight a lot, so I guess it could be represented by a national spirit. But the Holy Roman Empire, I mean, could be represented by a national spirit, as opposed to a faction, considering the different states used to fight a lot. But anyway, let's look at my focus tree. So, expanding the Bourbon sphere, so I can instigate a Hungarian rebellion, align Savoy, ally Bavaria, I can befriend Switzerland, reignite the old alliance. That's interesting. So then I can also do these focuses. Interesting. Okay. I can also invade Spain and integrate Catalonia. So, okay. There's Louis XIV. Okay, so my goal in this game is to become the dominant power in Europe. So my goal is to take over the Low Countries from Spain, take Catalonia from Spain, maybe take Navarre from Spain, take over some land from Germany, take over like the Rhineland from Germany, or at least the land west of the Rhine River. Maybe I'll take over... I don't know if I'll take over Switzerland. I don't know if I'll take over Savoy either. But I'll try and take as much land as I can. Okay, let me see what generals I have. Okay. I actually do have period generals and field marshals, so... I'm digging this, so far. Okay. Let me just... I need some soldiers along the Spanish border.
Attention. Aux ordres. Écoutez. Gardez vos rangs.
Alright, let's start the game.
Aux ordres. Écoutez. Aux ordres. Gardez vos rangs. Écoutez.
Okay, the Treaty of Karlovitz. Interesting. On the 26th of January 1699, the Treaty of Karlovitz was signed after 2 months of negotiations between the Ottoman Empire and the Holy League, thus concluding the Great Turkish War of 1683 to 1697. The treaty saw large territorial losses for the Ottoman Empire. They lost most of Hungary to Austria and parts of Greece to Venice. The Ottoman Empire now faces a period of instability, and it remains to be seen what the effects of the new balance of power will be. Once a great power, now the sick man of Europe. Okay.
Écoutez.
How many more generals do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
Attention. Attention. Gardez vos rangs. Aux ordres. Arrêt. Gardez vos rangs. Aux ordres. Écoutez. Arrêt. Aux ordres. Arrêt. Écoutez. Attention. Gardez vos rangs. Attention. Arrêt. Écoutez. Écoutez. Gardez vos rangs. Aux ordres. Arrêt.
Okay, expanding the Bourbon sphere. Let me build some more units. I'll build some more infantry regiments. Okay.
Attention.
Huguenot terrorists destroy manufactory. Huguenot partisans have risen up and destroyed a valuable manufactory. The terrorists have all disappeared without a trace. They must pay for this. Okay, so let me read this. The major nations of Europe have formed an alliance to contain France and hinder further expansion. We must look towards smaller powers so we do not get completely diplomatically isolated. Political power plus 150. Okay. So what I find interesting about this mod is that it has like a setting that one would expect from another Paradox game, Europa Universalis 4, which does have a War of Spanish Succession setting in the 18th century. But what's interesting is that this is the same setting, but within the game mechanics and playstyle and just, you know, general setting of Hearts of Iron 4. So I find it interesting. Like, it's the time period from Europa Universalis 4, but with the mechanics and setting of Hearts of Iron 4. Very interesting. So, let me... Okay. I'll worry about that later. Let me see my colonies. They're doing good. Okay. Let me look at what other countries have focus trees. Okay, so Spain has a focus tree. That's pretty cool. So there's different ways that the Spanish crown can... there's different ways for the Spanish crown to be inherited. Interesting. So let's look at England. They have a focus tree. Okay, apparently the Jacobites can be restored. That's interesting. Okay, let's look at Sweden. Okay. They have a focus tree. Let's look at Russia's focus tree. Okay, they have some focuses to go to war against Sweden. Now what about Austria? They definitely have a focus tree. Okay, they do. Okay, I can't instigate a Hungarian rebellion because I'm not at war with Austria. But I can align Savoy and Bavaria. Due to marriage ties, Bavaria is a historical ally of the French. Well, I'll ally Bavaria, then Savoy. It would be a good idea to invite the Commonwealth into my faction. Speaking of which, okay, they don't have a focus tree, but okay, Huguenot terrorists have destroyed infrastructure. What about the Ottomans? Okay, they don't have a focus tree either. What about Denmark? No, they... Okay, well... Technically, all the countries do have focus trees, but what I mean when I say if they don't have a focus tree, what I mean to say is that they don't have their own focus tree. So let's look at what countries do have their own. I know that, okay, the Netherlands does have its own focus tree. What about Brandenburg, Prussia? Okay, they do. But what other country? I think there's a... Okay, Savoy should as well. Okay, they do. Okay, I think that's all the countries that have focus trees. I don't think Portugal has one. Okay. Technically, if this were to be historically accurate, the 13 colonies would all be different and they would all have their own governors. Okay. Bavaria accepts an invitation to the Bourbon Alliance. Bavaria has decided to accept our offer to join the Bourbon Alliance. Henceforth, we shall stand or fall together. We shall set our differences aside for now. Okay, I'm going to do the same with Savoy. Bavaria joins the Bourbon Alliance. Earlier today, France and Bavaria issued a joint statement that the latter has now been formally granted member status of the Bourbon Alliance. Whether this partnership shall be used for offensive or defensive purposes remains to be seen, but undoubtedly extensive joint military planning is already underway. We are stronger together. Seek war support. Alright. Okay, I'll focus more on my military advisors later. So now Bavaria is in my faction. Let me read the... Okay. Feeling threatened by its much larger neighbor, Savoy is a natural ally of the French. They will certainly accept a French alliance proposal, although out of necessity rather than sympathy. Okay. Thinking of befriending Switzerland. Or I could partition Switzerland with Austria. I might partition Switzerland with Austria. Let me lobby with merchants and appoint naval officers, religious censorship. I don't know if I wanted to do that. Okay, why not? Okay, Denmark joins the anti-Swedish pact, and Savoy joins the Bourbon Alliance. Earlier today, Russia and Denmark issued a joint statement that the latter has now been formally granted member status of the Anti-Swedish Pact. Whether this partnership will be used for offensive or defensive purposes remains to be seen, but undoubtedly extensive joint military planning is already underway. They seek strength in numbers. Savoy accepts. Good. Okay. I'm gonna go partition Switzerland. Okay, apparently this mod has... Okay, the laws and government for this mod are different, obviously, from the base game. So my laws are only mercenaries, limited exports, civilian economy, kingdom rank, and Catholicism. So let me look at some of the other countries' laws. That's interesting. Should I form an alliance with the Netherlands? I don't know. I feel like my main enemies in the next war will be England and Spain, as well as possibly Austria. I don't know. I'm gonna go with the Sun King. Now I'm gonna go with French pressure. Okay, so now me and Austria have, we've taken over Switzerland, which obviously never happened in real life. Who else can I invite to my faction? So there's a whole anti-Swedish pact that Russia is building. Maybe I can... I wish I could invite, Portugal. I don't know. And the Netherlands, but I don't know. Okay, let me...
Aux ordres. Aux ordres. Paré.
Okay, you know what? I'll keep my divisions.
Gardez vos rangs.
As they are for now. I don't know if I want to go to war with Austria, so I might just go to war with Spain first and then go to war with Austria. And there is Avignon, which is owned by the Papal States, but I kind of don't want to go to war with them either. Well, that's funny. No comment. So most countries in this game are under the government of absolutism. Perhaps the only country that wouldn't be would be England. They're under absolutism, but technically since they have a parliament, they could be considered a parliamentary monarchy and not an absolute monarchy. Although at this point in history, the nobility still had way more power than it does today, so I don't know. Let me raise additional levies and appoint new officers. Okay, it looks like the Netherlands might be going to war with England, which is interesting because they both have the same king. Or the same ruler, technically. Okay, Russia declared war on Sweden. The Great Northern War has begun. I'm gonna go with the Sun King. Okay, outbreak of the Great Northern War. French pressure. As the death of Charles II looms around the corner, his will might still be altered in the coming days. We should persuade them to choose possible alterations wisely. The Sun King. Louis XIV is perhaps the most powerful French monarch ever, expanding France's borders more than ever and firmly establishing France's position as #1 in Europe. For a monarch of such prestige, a more suitable title should be found. Let him be known as the Sun King. Effect, game-based ability plus 10.00%. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go for aggressive foreign policy, natural borders, and demand Corsica. And hopefully Genoa will concede and give me Corsica. Okay, Denmark and Sweden... Okay, Denmark surrendered. But Sweden's still at war with Russia. And I kind of feel like, historically, Russia won against Sweden. But I kind of feel like here... no, I kind of feel... No. I feel here as if Russia will win, just like in real life. Alright, aggressive foreign policy. The key to French success in the last decades is an aggressive foreign policy. And this will give me a national spirit of the same name, which grants generate war goal tension limit minus 25.0%. And same for justify war goal time. Natural borders. The natural borders of France are somehow not under our control. We should attempt to restore these borders to achieve an optimal defensive position. So I'll get a claim on a bunch of different regions. Then I can demand Corsica. Then expand into North Africa. And later I'll address religious turmoil. And then I'll reinstate the Edict of Nantes, giving the Huguenots back their rights. Sweden's not actually doing too bad. I'm gonna demand Corsica. Let me save here. Modify my government. Some of these... Okay. Why isn't he working? Okay, the death of Charles II of Spain. Towards the end of his life, Charles II's fragile health deteriorated. He died on 1st November 1700, 5 days before his 39th birthday. Because Charles had no sons, it was decided that his empire was to be divided between Austria and France. It remains to be seen whether or not this agreement will be honored. Interesting. Okay. Okay, there's some unique technology with the cavalry. But let's see where this goes. So there's a regency in Spain. There's the seal of the Spanish kingdom, the Kingdom of Spain, and the Spanish Empire. Let's see what happens. Okay, let me just... I'm gonna address religious turmoil. Okay, is Genoa gonna give me Corsica or what? Okay, Genoa accepts our demands. Wisely, the government of Genoa has agreed to ceding the island to our great nation. Okay. Oh, let me look at the admirals. Okay, I don't have any. I'll just create some fictitious ones in 20th century clothing. Philip V, king... Okay, Philip V has been crowned king of Spain. And he's a Bourbon, so he's my cousin. So it looks like war is inevitable. Spain is ours. Let me just go... Okay, as a Bourbon sits upon the Spanish throne, centuries-long rivalry with our southern neighbor can finally come to a halt. Now we can finally focus on new fronts. Europe, beware. Okay, so...
Gardez vos rangs. Aux ordres.
Let me reorganize my soldiers.
Attention. Gardez vos rangs. Gardez vos rangs. Gardez vos rangs. Arrêt.
Now I can turn my attention to Austria
Écoutez.
and the Holy Roman Empire.
Attention. Aux ordres. Attention. Écoutez. Aux ordres. Aux ordres. Gardez vos rangs. Écoutez. Aux ordres. Attention. Aux ordres.
There we go. Let me just create some new admirals. I already did. Maybe I could create a new field marshal.
Aux ordres. Gardez vos rangs. Aux ordres. Gardez vos rangs. Écoutez. Parez.
Okay, there's my new field marshal.
Écoutez.
Okay, there we go.
Gardez vos rangs. Aux ordres.
There, all my guys are in position. Now, the only problem is I have claims on the Low Countries, but Spain owns the Low Countries. So maybe, I don't know, there should be like an event or a focus that if Spain and France ally, after a Bourbon is on the Spanish throne, that Spain can give the Low Countries to France. I mean, Spain already has a lot of land in Italy, so it only makes sense.
Gardez vos rangs.
Oh, okay. Apparently Kazakhstan is in an alliance. Kazakhstan is in an alliance with Sweden? That just makes no sense. That's weird. Okay. Spain is ours. Formalize alliance. Okay. Now that we have royal ties with Spain, we should also officially establish an alliance. Announcing an official alliance will, however, upset the rest of Europe. Well, that's their problem, but whatever. Okay, again, Bukhara joining the Swedish sphere makes no sense. These are bugs that are going to have to be worked out before this game is in, like, this mod, I mean, is in its, like, completed, you know, stage. Okay, Spain accepts invitation to the Ribbon Alliance. Good. Let me just propose economic integration. Alright, now I feel that... Okay. When I get to 25% tension, I'll declare war against the German minor states. Okay, I feel like different countries... Okay, the Grand Alliance might increase if I go any further, but let me propose economic integration. Spain is severely weakened both militarily and economically. As it is reigned by Louis's much younger nephew, it can easily be turned... As it is reigned by Louis's much younger nephew, it can easily be turned into a vassal state or some sort of protectorate. Okay.
Attention.
Okay, apparently my forces along the Austrian border aren't doing as good as I'd like. Okay, apparently the Netherlands is targeting Portugal for a war goal. Okay, maybe if we could, maybe me and Spain, we could divide Europe up between us. I don't know. Maybe Spain can take Portugal. I can take some of the German states. Maybe I can kick Savoy out of my alliance, then invade them, and take over some of their land. Okay, Sweden is actually winning, it looks like. Austria and the United Provinces have joined the Grand Alliance. I knew it. Okay, now I think I know what I should do. So, if Spain joins with France and the Bourbon Alliance, they should be able to give the Low Countries to France. If they're going to give away Catalonia, an integral part of their country, for a long time to France, then they should be able to give the Low Countries, which were much more foreign than Catalonia. They were basically foreign lands, as opposed to Catalonia, which was an integral part of Spain for many centuries. So, and if Savoy, they ally with France, they should be able to give Savoy to France. There should be, like, focuses for that. I don't know why there isn't, but I know what to do. This is just alpha, so I don't feel too bad about doing this. Okay, I guess I can't do that. Whatever. Okay, never mind. I was hoping there'd be console commands, but whatever. Never mind. I don't have cores on those territories, so whatever. Oh, I have another idea, though. Now let me take Catalonia. Okay, I can't. Okay, because I need this focus. It requires me to be at war with Spain. Okay, so never mind. I'm going to address religious turmoil. Okay, let me see if I can go to war against the German states.
Attention. Paré. Écoutez. Aux ordres. Gardez vos rangs. Paré.
Okay, Spain has refused economic integration. I kind of don't blame them, but whatever.
Paré. Attention. Gardez vos rangs. Paré. Gardez vos rangs.
Let me look at the factions. Okay. So the Bourbon Alliance consists of France, Spain, Savoy, and Bavaria. And the Grand Alliance consists of England, Scotland, Austria, and the Netherlands. Interesting. What about Portugal? Can I invite Portugal into my faction? I can't. I can't invite anyone to my faction. Okay, now the war has begun. So let's see how well I fight this war. Let me justify this war goal. Take from state.
Attention.
I can invade. I might need. I don't know. I'm gonna invade Britain later, but let me see if I can fight against the German states first.
Attention.
Let's see how. This might be a little difficult. What with Austria's. Okay, you know what? Let me see if I can ignite. I thought I was at war with Austria. Okay, I'm not at war with Austria yet.
Écoutez.
Okay, Russia next, the Caucasian minor states. Oh shoot. Just looking at the Spanish and Dutch generals. Okay, so they have generals too. Okay, apparently these are generic generals though, so I don't know. Yeah, Louisiana can join. Or New France as it was called. Another historical inaccuracy, but that can be fixed later. Okay. Okay, Spain's actually doing pretty good invading the Netherlands. They got that. My main focus is against Austria. When will my war goal? Wait till November. Okay. England's at war with me. I'll be at war with Austria anyway in November, so... Okay, Georges Patton shouldn't be alive in 1701. He wouldn't be born until 1885, but it's funny. I mean, what other American generals are alive in colonial times? I don't know. Again, just something the mod needs to fix up. Okay. England is invading New Spain. That's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna reinstate the Edict of Nantes. Go for war propaganda against all my enemies. Okay, are the Brits invading? Okay, Giovanni Messa should not be alive. Okay, I didn't think about this. I was too busy. Let me see if I can at least invade the minor German states, then send them, like, to the west. Let me see if I can do that. Yeah, Quebec you can, or Acadia, I mean, I don't know. Again, it should all just be one colony, New France, but that can be fixed later. Okay, if they reach Paris, I'm freaking screwed. Okay, enough is enough. Maybe I should send some guys over.
Aux ordres. Attention.
Can't let the Dutch get too out of hand here. Okay, now Brandenburg Prussia's at war with me. Okay, now the English are invading. That's not good, and they're pretty powerful. Okay. Oh, John Churchill. That's not good. The victor of the Battle of Blenheim. Here to fight me, and he's right by Paris. Let me just still see how good I can fight against the Germans.
Attention. Écoutez. Gardez vos rangs.
Okay, the Netherlands is a bit OP. They've taken over much of Normandy and even parts of Brittany. So, I don't know how that works out. Didn't really think this through, did I? But whatever.
C'est parti.
This is kind of chaotic, but I'm doing my best. Okay, now I can declare war on the minor German states.
Gardez vos rangs.
Let's see how fast I can get Germany to capitulate.
Attention.
Let me see how good I can fight against Austria. Okay. I'm actually doing very good against the small German states. Not as good against Austria. Well, I'm doing pretty good here. All I have to do is take Frankfurt. Alexander Smith, not a very German name, but
Gardez vos rangs.
probably just another generic general. Peter Walker,
Aux ordres.
again, just generic generals, but I don't know why they don't have German names, but whatever.
Gardez vos rangs.
I'll expand Versailles Court.
Écoutez.
Okay. Things aren't going
Result.
quite how I planned, but at least this was good practice. So I played 2 years and... Okay, so I played 2 years minus 1 month... I'm sorry. I've played 2 years plus 11 months into the game, and I think this mod has a lot of potential. It just needs to have some bugs ironed out and some more historically accurate content added. But this mod definitely does have potential, and what would be even cooler is if different icons were added, and if the technology was changed to make it more like 17th and 18th century technology. So there's a lot that can be added to this mod content-wise to make it more immersive. But overall, I really like it so far. So that is all.